camp, witnessed the aftermath of a child's death. It was 2022, near the end of July, and I was going to a summer camp upstate in Michigan that I had been to more than once in the previous years. It was a very nice camp. High quality food, a huge lake, all that stuff. They had some water inflatables for a part of the lake that was close to the dock. Then they had a banana boat that would run further out across the lake. I was going to the camp with a church group, and it's important to note that there were multiple groups of kids from different states going, not just everyone from our church. Aside from the 5-day retreat that our group was doing, there was also a day camp for littler kids. Since they didn't want the waterfront to be full of kids, they have us do games or activities near our teepees or at the rec center, while the other groups would be at the waterfront. The dining hall overlooks the waterfront and lake, so when you leave, you can see the lake. I remember it was a few days into the retreat, and me and my group was walking from the dining hall to go to our teepees. The day camp kids had been down at the waterfront, and the banana boat and the boat pulling it was all the way over on the shore across the lake. None of us thought anything of it. We just assumed it had run out of gas or there was a hole in the banana boat. Later, all of the kids that weren't from the day camp were pushed into the building that they do the lessons and worship in. It wasn't in our schedule. Some kids had said they'd seen camo counselors crying, and when asked why they were doing so, they said, "The water slide's broken." That was the same response we got when it was announced that we couldn't go to the waterfront. Yeah, we were 10 to 12-year-olds. But none of us were dumb enough to believe that. No one would let us leave the building unless we had to use the restroom, which was in a separate building about 10 or so feet away. The lake wasn't in view of there, so it wasn't a huge problem, I assume. The next day, or later that same day when we went to the dining hall for dinner, the details are a bit blurry. There was a police boat on the lake, fishing for something with a net. I asked my counselor why he was there, and she said he was fishing. I guess she was telling the truth to some extent, but she made it sound like he was looking for fish. We all knew something was up when the counselors made us plug our noses when we'd walk by certain parts of the lake. The reasoning being something along the lines of chemicals that were put into it not being safe to inhale to a large degree. Once we had gone home, I remember bringing up to my mom about the whole thing, and she said it was awful. Apparently an email had been sent to all the parents of those who had attended, talking about the thing. It was then that my mom had told me that a little girl had gotten hit and killed by a boat, and when I had saw the boat on the other side of the lake, it was after that girl had gotten hit. You can imagine how heavy that would be for a 12-year-old, and I don't even remember how I really felt about it back then. Needless to say, they didn't have camp back there after that.